Before his precious son Prince Edward came on the scene, Henry VIII only had one surviving son, who he apparently considered his worldly jewel. This is Henry Fitzroy, and he is the subject of my upcoming book, which is as yet untitled. Any suggestions for a title are welcome, pop them in the comments. Henry Fitzroy is a key character in the Tudor era because he was proof to Henry VIII that he could sire a male child, but it appeared just not with his wife Catherine of Aragon. Henry VIII considered Henry Fitzroy's birth and survival as proof that the loss of all his other male children by his wife were not his fault. And his birth was a pivotal moment which made Henry consider that perhaps Catherine of Aragon needed replacing. But this thought did not really come into effect until a good 10 years later. And during those 10 years, what Henry VIII did instead of getting rid of Catherine was to elevate his son as high up as he possibly could. In 1525, at the age of just 6, Henry Fitzroy was elected as Knight of the Garter, and then he went on to ennoble him by creating him Earl of Nottingham during a grand ceremony. He was then also made a duke, but not just any duke. At the time, there were only 2 dukes in existence in all of England, the Duke of Norfolk and the Duke of Suffolk, and Henry Fitzroy would suddenly outrank them when Henry VIII gave him a double dukedom, creating him Duke of Richmond and Somerset. And these titles marked Henry Fitzroy out as a member of the royal family. Not since the 12th century, when Henry II had made William Longsword Earl of Salisbury, had a King of England raised his illegitimate son into the peerage. Henry VIII clearly had a lot of hope that his illegitimate son would one day perhaps be accepted as his potential heir. Henry Fitzroy went on to receive many more titles, including President of the Council of North. He was made a Member of Parliament in the House of Lords. He was given a lot of titular positions, which means that while he held these titles, because he was a child, of course, he didn't really do anything with them. Other great lords who were grown men acted in his stead. But this was all, of course, in preparation for Henry to potentially be of use when he was older. Henry VIII went on to marry Anne Boleyn in the hope of siring a legitimate son by her, and when she too was not able to produce a son for him, Henry Fitzroy continued the only male child Henry had. Sadly, Henry Fitzroy died at the age of just 17 years old in 1536, which was quite the year for royal deaths. Henry VIII lost a lot of people that year, not only his son, but also his first wife, Catherine of Aragon, as well as, of course, the second wife who he ordered executed, Anne Boleyn. You can find out more about Catherine and Anne's deaths on my friend Anna's page, who has a series, 118 Days of the Tudors, and today she'll be talking about 1536.